Greetings, friends. It's so good to be with you. I've been thinking a great deal recently about our understanding of Scripture, growing from that deep commitment to biblical scholarship that our ancestors embraced in the last couple hundred years as the Reformation took hold and people began to be able to read and not depend upon the priest for interpretation, and growing beyond that traditional biblical understanding of Scripture to embrace words that become maps for us, words that help us to find our way. Words like, for me, our lives are blessed by those who knowingly and with curiosity and courage face their final days. Words like these from Robinson Jeffers, but before I share the poem, I want to recall two moments in our ministry when we desperately needed those maps, those words to help us find our way. When we needed, with a kind of abject need, to be together. The first that I recall was very early in our ministry, in the beginning of the second year, when the Twin Towers were attacked. And hundreds of people found their way to church, gathered to sing and to hold one another in our grief and in our fear. And we knew that we needed to find a way to ritualize that experience, to foster hope and confidence, to allow for grief. And these words came to mind. This is from the great California poet Robinson Jeffers. It's called To the Stonecutters. Stonecutters, fighting time with marble, you four defeated challengers of oblivion, eat cynical earnings, knowing rock splits, records fall down, the square-limbed Roman letters scale in the thaws, wear in the rain. The poet as well builds a monument mockingly, for we will be blotted out. The blithe earth dies, the brave sun die blind, their hearts darkening. Yet stones have stood for 1,000 years, and pained thoughts found the honey of peace in old poems. The ritual service that we designed following the 9/11 attack was called the honey of peace in old poems. That poem is scripture for me. It helps me to remember how small I am, how small we are when compared to the days of eternity, to put things in perspective. And putting things in perspective is what we need to do now. The day that Paul and Sheila Wellstone's plane went down, people likewise made their way to church to grieve and sing and hold one another in our grief. And once again, we met that moment as a public church, a church that welcomes all those who grieve, all those who have that need to be together in those moments of deep transition. And once again, the poems served us well. So friends, hold on to what you know by heart. When fear rises, when grief rises, when that certain disquiet that the future is going to be different from the past takes hold and tensions begin to build, just reach down deep to what you know by heart. Say something we can learn by heart, Frost says. Go deep, hold one another, stay rooted to what you know is true, and I know full well we'll make it through. Many blessings.